So, I said I was gonna write my reflection, and I did, but it was long, and don't nobody want to be reading no 2 to 3 pages of my reflection. So I said that I would make it easy and convenient, and I will just video my reflections, because that was an option. So I want to start by saying that I had an amazing time in London, and being back made me appreciate it even more. Just to reflect on some of the things, though, I had a bunch of aha moments in London. One of those, like the culture shock first, of, when we got there, to have to go through the tube with our luggage, and that was a thing, because in the US we're all about convenience, and that was not convenience. And I think that was a great start of it for us to be out of our comfort zone, because we were completely out of our comfort zone trying to get that heavy packed luggage up flights and flights of stairs. That was my first lesson, and it has grown into more that I'm not gonna overpack in traveling anywhere. I don't need all the necessities of home. I want to be like Daniel and just have a carry-on bag, because that was a lot in itself. But when we got there, just seeing the different and these are things that I have said, but seeing the diversity of the difference in London, the different cultures and the different ethnicities in London, it was a beautiful thing for us to see, in the States, for everybody to be all about DEI and equity and inclusion and stuff. But us in the States, we really don't work with that in certain places, in certain avenues. But to see like the rainbow of colors and different personalities and everything in London was a great thing to see. Having to be with a group, at first it was a little uneasy, because there was somebody in the group that I really didn't care for, and so that took some getting used to for me. I had to fake it until I made it, and I did for a while, but to ease down, to have to constantly be in that group with those people, I had to really reflect on myself, and are you just trying to protect yourself, or are you just scared to do the unthinkable and just be normal with a person that has hurt you in the past? And it was challenging, but also it was a lesson for me to just forget about the past and to just live in the present, because I didn't want to miss the opportunity of really knowing London. It was also great for us to have different types, different genres of people, to have the young people, and then us, and then it just made everybody human. And you understand, like Anahi and Michelle, they wanted to Instagram when they got to places. Keely knew everything about the place when we got there, and just to be in the middle. And Daniel, truly, it looked like he was just absorbing the experience, and it was great to be among that group. However, there were times, because sometimes I do like being alone, it was great also to be alone and to see London in certain places and in certain instances or time just by myself quietly. I really enjoyed that. Going to the British Museum, or even let's start with coming into London. Coming into London, was an aha moment for me, because looking at the flats and the different gardens everywhere while we were on the tube and actually seeing that was real to me. And that was something that I thought, that was something that I never asked for. Like, my prayers and my goals for myself was never to see the world. It was just to survive in this one. And it was great to see, like, for my eyes, to see the United Kingdom. And that was an amazing opportunity just to see a different part of the world. I didn't realize how emotional that would make me. Also, when we got to the British Museum, to see the Rosetta Stone, which I knew nothing about. A lot of these things that we seen, I knew nothing about them. And so to see the Rosetta Stone, which I always thought was just some software to teach you how to learn Spanish, but to see the Rosetta Stone and to hear and to read the plaque and to see what it was and how it allowed archaeologists to communicate with the past by learning hieroglyphics was an amazing opportunity, because this is a language instrument like right in front of me. And even though the British Museum had a whole bunch of stolen stuff, it was just great to see the past in your face, like to see the Rosetta Stone in my face, to see the statue of King Ramesses II in my face, and to hear about like how it weighed so much, and how King Ramesses, it weighed like 70 tons, and what they had to do to get it to Britain was an amazing thing to hear and to see it. And then going to the British Library and really seeing the Magna Carta. So, because to be quite honest, even though I'm a graduate of Chattanooga State, I thought the Magna Carta was just an album by Jay-Z. I did not realize that it was a thing, and it was like the foundation of our modernization. Even here around the world, the Magna Carta was that. And to actually read it, to read the plaques next to it, and to go to the temple and to see another copy of the Magna Carta, and to really understand like what those were, what the different ones were, like of all four. I think we only got to see two, but you know, to see what they meant and how they even impacted the Declaration of Independence, and how the middle court and the inner court, I think, how many signers of the Declaration of Independence were members of this amazing temple, to go to high court and to sit in murder trials and to hear the non-biased approach of, you know, an appeal to a murder trial, just not even dealing with the fact that, you know, the guy killed somebody in Poland, but just dealing with the fact that, hey, are we gonna let him back in the UK or let him back in London? And not, it was so non-biased, and it was like our laws are set up, that are supposedly set up to be, is just deal with the issue, not deal with everything or who they associated with or what they said or what they've already been tried for it. But you could just see that it was very non-biased, and they were just dealing with the fact that, should we let him back in the UK? That was fascinating to me, and it provided great perspective. I loved going and being among the culture, among the people of London, like at the Globe, and standing up and being amongst the people and being a part of that community that was watching Much Ado About Nothing. Just seeing how different people were acting, and how people were drinking and being merry, and how, you know, I got told more than one time in more than one setting that like I couldn't take pictures because of copyright, and just obeying those laws. But also seeing in contrast of how it is in the States, like the museums and the galleries, they are free, and in the States, unless you're in DC, most of us, we have to pay to see our history, provided great perspective. And to be quite honest, London just loved on me. It was like the last 2 years at Chattanooga State has been my love letter to myself about me doing one thing for me. But London was like the PS I love me of my journey at Chat State. And to be honest, I didn't even want to go. I didn't want to go after I found out who was going. I didn't want to go because I just wanted to rest after a very busy year so far. I just didn't want to go. And after like graduating and then 3 hours later, on my way to London, I wanted to rest and just to celebrate with my family and to look at the accomplishments that I've made and to sit at a table and have people with me and let's celebrate this goal that I conquered. And I didn't get to do that. I got to take another class and go to London. This was my favorite class. I do appreciate like Ken just telling us about certain places that we were going and giving us the history of what it was. And I gleaned from him the attitude of just merging in, of just, you know, doing what you need to do, or just being a part of wherever you are. And I love the teaching of like walking with him at the temple, and him telling us about things of the temple, and him telling us about things of London, and him giving us the instructions and stuff. It was an amazing thing. This is still long. This is like 11 minutes. Damn. I also enjoyed the just being with because it was almost towards the end. It wasn't like individuals going to London, because at the beginning I was like, man, I'm the only black person here. I'm by myself. I'm the only one that really didn't have a group and or didn't have a partner that I could equate to. And at the end it became like us against the world. We were a family. We looked out for each other. I really appreciate that. We went out on excursions, not with the same person, but sometimes we went out with other people that were not in our clique, so to speak, because I technically thought I was not a part of anybody's clique, but we all became one clique, and just experiencing London as one. I really enjoyed that. It made me reflect on who I was. It made me really listen to the things that I tell myself. It made me get over myself and the emotion or whatever was driving me. It just, and it made me take inventory, like if I'm feeling some kind of way, because I was feeling some kind of way because I was tired when we got back to Hartsfield and going through the motions, and I was just exhausted. I had pushed my body as far as I thought I possibly could, and I was just ready to go. I was ready to get back to my family, and I missed them terribly. However, I also had to take inventory and say, okay, so you're aggravated, let's go over here and sit by yourself and let's get yourself together and take some breaths and stuff, and so you can get back and be with this group. It was a remarkable experience. It was the best experience that I've had at Chat State. Best experience. I will say that the study abroad program does need to look at the fact that adults will be being a part of these excursions, and for that have an opportunity for them to upgrade their seat or upgrade their room. And because adults and kids and, you know, younger students, we're different. We're the same, but we're different. But at the same time, like, you know, we got hip problems, we got knee problems and stuff. So those things need to be accounted for, I do feel. I also think that these programs need to be advertised. We advertise Tennessee Reconnect. We advertise everything else. Study abroad needs to be advertised, especially to the adult students, because it is imperative that you get out, that you get away from the States and see this country. To see our world. I didn't realize how much I needed it until I got in it, and how much like it gave me a bug. Like, I gotta show my kid this. I have to show London to my husband. And I liked it because we had things that we had to do. We seen a lot of London, and it was great having the resources that we had in our group, like Keely just being like a little Wikipedia for everything. And every time we wanted and she was doing research, and Kim finding different ways we can do things. Like, she found the walking tour for the changing of the guard, and the young people just bringing their youthful fun-loving spirits to it. And like Amanda, just seeing her just push through and keep going, and just having Ken as like the slow to speak, the silent guy with a lot of knowledge. It was a great experience. I enjoyed it. I would do it again. I'm actually looking at study abroad opportunities at UTC to see when I can do that again. But it was an amazing experience, and I really do appreciate it. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of that for little to no cost at that. Like, it didn't cost hardly anything to do it, and I did appreciate it, and I loved it. And like I said, I'll say it again, best experience I've ever had at Chat State. Thanks. Bye.